remember that they're changing my voice because they're jealous. I'm not gay. This video is about why I call down divine punishments on the rich whites, the rich Jews, the rich LGBT types, the rich token minorities, and the military first and foremost. Now, I've been trying to reason with these people. They refuse to be reasoned with. It's not my job to reason with them or kiss their ass. I give everyone orders. They don't follow them. There's punishments. That's how God works. That's how nature works. That's life in a nutshell. You live in an imaginary construct. I live in reality. I'm not going to play your stupid sissy game. So let's get into this. 1, I must make it clear that God's order is me, Christ, first. Point number 2, I must make it clear that it is a Royal African Falcon top martial arts order, not a white order, a Jewish order, or LGBT, or anything else. And since they keep harassing me, I highlight that quite often to their extreme shame. Point number 3, they are trying really hard to confuse things. Point number 4, they try to steal credit from me by pretending to train me, and this is the main way they try to confuse things. So they try to use the fact that they're using technology to harass me, to try to steal credit from me. My videos would have been way better if they didn't interfere. And then they have the nerve to try to take credit because they're still the best videos out there. Because I'm the one person manning up. Everyone else is some kind of sissy hooked to a machine, okay, and still being a sissy. Or I'm a great warrior that they're trying to reduce with technology and fumes and poisons, and you can still tell that I'm the man. Point number 5. God is love, and romantic love is the second greatest love after loving God. 6. If one has a child, it only has value if it is in the divine order. 7. One must obey God through me to be in the divine order, and they don't necessarily have to do physical martial arts, weapons, okay, punches and kicks, etc. They don't necessarily have to do that to be in the divine order. 8. They basically use the military as their main enforcer. So now, why did I bring up these other ones, right? Why did I bring up the fact that God is love? Because the military and these other groups are trying to destroy romantic love to the best of their ability. And after my flesh dies, no one will ever have true romantic love. It will just be sissy, coward, fake love, especially transhumanist, hooked to the machine, garbage, conservative, nonsense, what have you. And to argue that they have to put their family first is very stupid. Because their family doesn't have any value unless they're obeying God through me. If they're not, they're just a rebel, trying to make the best of things while they're serving pedos and their allies and the continuity of the foolish builders building. I'll elaborate more in the description and in the comments. So again, point number 8, they basically use the military as their main enforcers. Okay, so how could I leave that out when the main enforcers in the military, right? CIA is military intelligence, and they're called this Central Intelligence Agency. Okay. In fact, that's one of my points here. We'll get to that. So 9, they use psychological warfare, including encoding their satanic rape messages into the factions of the military. For example, the word Marines is the play on words for in Marys. You know, Marys. And because the vowels are interchangeable, vowel, L, alpha, bet, you get Maria's, okay, and they used Mary Kate was the name of my ex-fiance, right? You know, Mary in Spanish is Maria. Maria Mello in high school, this female broke my heart. They planted them in my life with like these crypto Jews and Italians and various types of white people who played certain roles to try to get a rise out of me, to try to make me so I feel, you know, something that I'm not, which is insufficient. It's also, Marines also play on words for I'm Reigns, and I'm Ruin, and I'm Magic Ruin, and so on and so forth. And so USMC, right? United States Marine Corps. You get the M for the magic, like Ronald McDonald's, and the suck, and the cuss. You see how that lines up, right? Air Force, right? Force, raw I. Raw I, force C. So Air Force, right? They want to force people, okay? And they're fuming and poisoning me. And the word fume is a play on words for F-U me. What are the odds it's called the Air Force, and they're fuming me, and fume is a play on words for F-U me, okay? And gas and gaze. And position is poisonous scramble. If you think that's a coincidence, you're like insane or something. Crazy. The Army, right? Arm E. Again, the E is for emasculate, effeminate, sissy, silly. To make a long story short, the E can be seen as sort of, no offense to anyone, just telling it the easiest way possible, and it happens to include race. but there are various forms of whites and Jews, right? So some are skinny, some are, sloppy, some are goofy. Think about the cartoons, right? The Simpsons, Scooby-Doo, right? So when they kind of work out, like in the military or a bodybuilder, they look shady. There's another E word, as opposed to being a Royal African Falcon martial artist, right? So where whites is a plain word for wise Set, okay? Now, Set's enemy is Horus. And so a certain type of black person is compared to Horus, and I am Horus, the son of God. So they persecute anybody who's anything like me. If you have any questions, put in the comments. I'm running out of time here. I got to wrap this up here. So you have the Navy, right? It's right there in the word knave, a villain, a knave, and the knave E. Okay, and there's all kinds of other stuff there. There's the Yah and down. Now Yah goes back to the gay. The word gay is a plain word for G, which is the earth deity, Gaia, the G in Freemasonry, what have you. The G for gangster, and also Yah. And God is G-Od, and dog spelled backwards, right? So they're the dogs, like the Canaanite woman was called, right? And according to the wordplay, we'll say, because I don't want to break the rules on YouTube. Remember, it's pretty straightforward what's going on here. So you put the two together, you take off the G, right? And you get the Yah and the Od. Okay, so National Guard. And Shun Alpha Lay, draw Jew, right? That's what the word play says there. Okay. So if you believe I'm mistaken, please make your case. Point number 9, point number 10, the CIA is considered military intelligence, and they are the pure evil Central Intelligence Agency, right? CIA Alpha, the word FBI is a plain word for Fib. You have the Facebook, I, and so on and so forth. Okay, Facebook. And whore for Horus is said to be a word for face. And a prostitute put makeup, right? Make up. They play a make-believe dress-up game. If the word persona is said, I believe it is the root word for person. It means mask in the Greek theater. And where theater is a play on words for the rate, okay? And so we got the word play with a late, rate, fate, hate, mate, date, so on and so forth. Rhyme and reason. Point number 11, I'm not gay, and these people have merged in like a fascist symbol, white Jew, LGBT, they merged together in an unholy alliance to cheat me. Thus the Klan was very gayish. If you look into the history, of their crimes, they include homosexual crimes, raping people, raping black people, okay, Klan members, racist white guards in the prison system, sexually abusing people, males as well, okay, and they're very, a lot of them were crypto Jews, and perhaps otherwise. And then there were Nordic, right, like the English royals, and then the symbolism there, the Scottish signal fire when they burned the cross. Okay, the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, right? You had the kind of, the founder Nathan Bedford Forrest was of English descent, and so on and so forth. Okay, so point number 12 is I try to convince them to stop doing stupid stuff. Okay, out of grace, out of a sense of trying to have mercy on them instead of just trample them, and instead they provoke me, and they know that I'm going to respond that way, and they know the ultimate effect is it disgraces their groups and their families first and foremost. It disgraces the military, especially because they're supposed to be soldiers that put God before country, that enforce the Constitution, okay, and everyone knows the governing class is a bunch of betas, so the military makes their pitch by pretending they're tough, but they're going out very, very weak and very disgraced, okay. And the governing class, everyone knows they're a bunch of Epstein clowns. So one can view it as the military is taking the biggest hit from gang stalking, and it's something that they're causing. Years ago, this one guy said, hey, it's not very hard. Work around them, referring to me. They should be working around me and not persecuting me, because they're making it worse for everybody by persecuting me.